I read the incantation on this cleric's token. Should be here somewhere. Here. Alright, once the dead man is revived, we can ask him 5 questions, at which point he will die again, never to be re-revived.
Why 5 questions?
I don't know, that's just how it works.
Seems arbitrary.
Can we get on with this, please?
Right, yes.
Welcome to another episode of Jay's LEGO Adventures. I'm Jay. In today's video, we will be reviewing set 21348, Dungeons & Dragons, The Red Dragon's Tale. I will also be giving an overview of the adventure booklet that came with the set. So, let's get to reviewing. Alright, time for my review. Alright, this is Dungeons & Dragons, Tales of the Red Dragon. It is a modular set. Comes apart in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, sections. Has 6 minifigures, 2 of which are NPCs. The other 3 are PCs. It's got like 9 buildable creatures, and one of them is the Red Dragon. Okay, first things first, we're going to go over each of the player characters. Okay, our first character today, player character, is an orc rogue. This rogue comes with a cloth cape, a hood, comes with 2 daggers, and a crossbow. And like all the other minifigures in this set, comes with an extra head where you can choose if you want a male or a female character. And all you do is change the heads. Here we've got male, and now we have female. All right, next up we have the gnomish fighter. You guys are probably guessing I had them all wrong whenever I was building them. I thought that the orc was a drow, but he was an orc. Thought this was an elf, but it's a gnome. Anyway, this gnome fighter comes with a shield and a regular sword, or a 2-handed sword. Also, this comes with multiple heads, with multiple faces. Can be either male or female. Right now we're male, and it looks like he's really happy. His second face, he still looks more like he's grimacing. He comes with some shoulder armor, and his hairpiece has molded ears. And like I said, we can also have him be female. All right, there's the first face of the female, kind of a neutral look to her, uses the same hairpiece. Now the second face looks like this. She's got a more of a I'm going into battle face. All right, next up, we'll have the Elven Wizard. All right, we have our Elven Wizard. Again, their hairpiece has molded ears. Wizard carries a spell book. Spell book has 2 extra spells. He's also got a magic wand he can have in his hand. All right, the wizard has 2 heads, male and female, each with 2 faces. First face here looks just kind of a happy face. Let's see what face 2 is. All right, male face 2, kind of a scared face. Let's see what the female looks like. Okay, the first female face is what appears to be a happier face, I would say. All right, her second face, more of a mad face. Now again, same hairpiece used for both male and female. All right, next up we have the Dwarven Cleric. I didn't get that one wrong because I didn't mention a race for it. Here we have our Dwarven Cleric. It's female. She has a hammer. She has a holy symbol, some shoulder armor. Now, unlike the others, the male and the female of these 2 use different hairpieces, but both have 2 faces. So this first face, she looks kind of mad or concentrating. Her second face, she looks happy. So we got a happy face and a mad face. Okay, the male has a different headpiece and a beard piece. And again, like I said, he has 2 faces. All these characters are 2-faced. All right, this first one looks kind of happy. Okay, the second face, even though it's really hard to tell because the beard's covering it, it's more of a mad face. Okay, that's it for the PCs, player characters. Let's go on to the NPCs. And now we have Alex Jadescale, the Dragonborn, the former innkeeper of the In Plain Sight. His head is molded to look like a dragon, and you added 2 horns to it. He's only got 1 face. Now, we have the current innkeeper. Current innkeeper goes by the name of Mary Rumwell, which is a nice play on names because, again, you can have this NPC be male or female. So Mary can be a guy's name and a girl's name. Both of them have 2 faces. I'm going to show you the female second face in a minute. First, I'm going to show you the male. There we have the male version of Mary. He has a second face also, but his second face hides a secret. Now this will be a spoiler for the adventure. Add the cape, turn the head around, add a hood, a couple more accessories. And we find out Mary is really Irvin's soul-fallen evil wizard whose plot to steal a dragon egg and hatch it is part of the adventure. Like I said, you can have the female version of Irvin, and there's your female version of Irvin. So now we have our PCs and we've met our NPCs. Next we'll meet our cast of buildable creatures. All right, for the buildable creatures, first three are actually minifigures, but you got the hard way. The hard way was a group of adventurers that were hired by Mary, and they died. So now they're skeletons. It looks like a mage, a rogue, and a fighter. They had a cleric, but he ran afoul of something and is no longer in one piece. Meet these in the tower. All right, the next one we have is a beholder. This was fun to building all the tentacles with the eyes. I like the transparent stand to make it look like it's floating. This is something you also meet in the tower. All right, next we have Alex's cat, Pouncy. Now, Pouncy actually is a displacer beast. I think the build on that was pretty cool. I mean, they don't look exactly like what you would see a picture of them, but it captures the essence. Looks really good. All right, next we have something found in the dungeon area. There's the remainder of the cleric. Gelatinous cube. Looks like he ate up the cleric. We're gonna cross this, I think, in the dungeon section. All right, next we have an awakened tree. Try to get this to stand up if I can. All right, we have awakened tree. You meet him in the meadow, and if you're convincing, you can have him open the secret door to the dungeon. This was a fun build. Building trees is always kind of neat, but awakened tree, it was pretty cool. All right, and then we have Owlbear's pretty cool. I like him. It was an interesting build. I like that the toenails here, the claws, are movable. So you make them easier to stand, hang on to things. All right, you find him in the meadow. Next thing we find in the inn, a bed and a chest. Oh wait, they're mimics. Like how the bed opens up like a mouth. It's got the teeth inside. The little things you did to build, like the tongue hanging out of the chest there. We got 2 more buildable creatures to go. We got a myconid, fungi people. Find him in the meadow section above the dungeon. We'll see that area a little bit later. It's the area with the campfire. All right, and for our final buildable creature, we have Cinderhowl, the red dragon.
Hi, I'm the fire-breathing dragon.
This was a very fun build. First ever dragon I built. He has posable wings, posable head. His legs and claws are posable. And he has a very articulate tail. That is all your buildables and your minifigs for this build. Next, I'm gonna take you through each of the pieces of this build, each of the buildings, in the order that you would come across them in the adventure. All right, this is the in plain sight. First place that the player's characters come across. And I think this is a really neat little build here. Over here, you got the cute pun with the sign. It says in plain sight, INN, get it? And then you got some good building techniques here, going with the alternating colors and brick for the chimney, and then a little puff of smoke here is cool. And then I like you got the pier out over the water. I like how they just a hint of blue for the water. And then you got the stones, the cobblestones, and you got these 2 boxes. And the door opens. And the party enters. Modular, it comes apart. All right, so the first thing we notice when we walk in is the weapons rack. When I was building this, I said, oh, hey, that's probably because you got to put your weapons up when you come in the inn. Nope, wrong about that. That's the weapons of the last band of adventurers that went looking for the egg. More on that on the adventure. And over here, you got a fireplace. I don't know if you can see that well. You got the bar with some hot wings on it and a bottle of hot sauce. And then a little table with some bottles and cup. Behind the bar, you got a keg. And this actually is a door. It goes here, I think it's, yeah, behind the bar, it's here. And that leads to the basement of the tower. So the player characters can either go that way to the tower or go around front to the meadow area. And in the adventure guide, it has them going to the meadow area, so that's where we'll go after we're done with this. All right, so now we'll take you to the second floor. Second floor's roof comes off, so you can get here a little bit better. And oh, there you see the mimics. Again, now this is where they reside. But then over here, you got a bag of holding on a shelf. And then around front, I like how this isn't square, it's angled. Behind this mimic, you got some pictures and posters on the wall. It was a sticker. Stickers weren't too bad in this set, I will have to say that. All right, let's put this back on. Put this back together. See, it just goes right back on like that. And then we'll get to the meadow. All right, first we'll look at the meadow, then the dungeon. Okay, meadow, you got continuation of the cobblestones with a path from the inn. You got a lot of spiders. That's where you meet the owlbear, and he's chasing after the spiders to eat. You got the wall of the keep, and then over here, down in there, you got buried treasure and a key. The key, I think, opens the lock to the basement. And you got the awakened tree back here. If you talk to him, he's good enough to open the secret door for you into the dungeon. This is going to be hard to see. Well, I think we might have enough light in there. Pull it up a little. You got black puddings, and then you've got back there, you got, looks like part of the remains of the cleric. And then you've got other little things along the floor, like got a little bit of coin, a couple weapons. Then over here is where the gelatinous cube goes. And behind it, you got a baby gelatinous cube, and you got some treasure back there. And if you go to the upper level of this, you start knocking everything over. This is where you meet the myconids. If you go up top, it's where you meet the myconids, and then campfire here, some other mushrooms. You've got a shield with the eye of the beholder on it. You also got a ladder going from the dungeon up to here, which is the prison. That's where you actually run into Alex, the original proprietor of the inn. And then after you're done here, you end up in the tower itself. All right, next you got the tower section. The tower section is divided into 4 floors, and again, it's modular. So that top part comes off. All right, here we have the basement. All right, the basement section has a door that opens here, but there's an axe trap. When you open the door, the axe falls. Got another door back here. I believe this is the door. This is the door coming from the inn. This is the door coming from the dungeon. A neat thing about this is the circular stair. It was a really neat technique. You stack these pieces that look like airplane propellers on top of each other, and then you turn them, and they sort of locked. One thing you'll notice about this area is there's some green flames on the candles. Well, that's just, I don't like the green flames. But this is where you'll meet the hard way. They'll be in here. Back here, those pink plants are poisonous pink plants. There's a potion here, spellbook over here in the corner, another potion here. Take the stairs up, and that leads you through here. This way, I believe, is out to the wall. Now, this level is a shrine to a 5-headed dragon. And the dragon in the adventure guide is, it says, Tiamat. Now, if you come through this door here, and you haven't got this key, it's a trap door that falls, and you end up back in the basement. But if you've got the key, you're okay. Now the adventurers would come over and get this potion, hopefully, and walk up the steps, steps to here. They'd open the door and they'd enter the lab. Now, the lab has this blue crystal, has some red candles back in the back, has this candle made out of a skull. It's got some extra spells, so your characters can get some extra spells there. And then from there, you go up one floor, and you're in the egg chamber. This is the egg that Mary stole from Cinderhowl. Got the candles around it to keep it warm. He's planning to hatch it. And then you just got the outside of the tower with some neat details. Like you got the different color tiles here. Again, on the corners, you got the bricks. You got the little Cult of the Dragon crest. Okay, give me just a second. I'll come back and give you some of my thoughts on this. All right, some of my thoughts on this. I'll start with the instructions. All right, there are two ways that you can use the instructions. Either your typical paper manual or PDF, or the way I tried for the first time, and that was using the Lego Builder app. And I enjoyed that because it made the building process so much easier. It had animated, it had 3D animated instructions. It'd have a piece, and you could rotate the piece and then see exactly where the piece goes. So it made it just that much easier. It took a little longer because the instructions were split up between like 3 different screens instead of 1 page, but it sure made it easier. I didn't have problems I had with like the Batmobile, where I had a stud off and then had to take it apart. So if you get a set that has those type of instructions, I would really recommend using the Builder app, because that makes it, like I said, a lot easier. All right, now for some scores here. All right, we're gonna go with interest factor. This is the first modular I've built, and I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I like how it fits together, but then taken apart, making it very playable, which that'll be the next score. We'll get to that. Building the creatures was really interesting. Had some interesting techniques there, especially the dragon. I mean, all the little pieces to get the tail to be articulate, and the detailing for the bones of the wings. And like I said, most of the creatures don't really look 100% like, authentic, quote unquote, but they captured the essence of them, and so they look really good. And yeah, like I said, first modular had interesting techniques. Sure, what I'm finding is interesting techniques, like the way they go together and stuff. That's just your typical modular feature. And I liked, like I said, the stairway. I liked how that was just pieces you put together and then turned and they locked in place. All right, so for interest factor, I'm going to give this a 9. All right, we'll move on to playability. As I stated in the interest factor, the modular, being able to take it apart, just makes it massively playable. Like take this top floor off and take the roof off and just get your minifigures in there and have a good time. I did look through the adventure, and this will be part of the playability score. As a former D&D player myself, I found the adventure to be short and straightforward. And the basic premise of it is the adventurers come to the In Plain Sight. In Plain Sight is famous for its hot wings. When they enter, they find out the inn is under new management, and they see a sign that the prior innkeeper's cat, Pouncy, is missing, and adventures ensue. Needless to say that I already spoiled it, but the new innkeeper, Mary, is the main bad guy. Other than some little details I said here and there, I'm not going to spoil the adventure anymore. But it is a decent adventure, and they have rules in there for if you're not a D&D person and you've never played D&D, that you don't have to use the rules. And I liked that. So you don't have to break out the monster manual or go get a player's handbook to figure out how to play it. And I like that you, after the adventure, you can probably make up some more adventures around this. And there was a lot of minifigures and buildable creatures in this. So, I'm going to say the playability, because you got all this to play with, the minifigures, the creatures, everything, the different rooms. I'm going to actually give this a score of a 10. And I think that might be the first 10 up on playability I've given. I'll have to go back and find out. All right, let's see. Value for your money. Okay, well, looking at the price per piece, you got 3,745 pieces. And it costs $359.99. So that's just over 9.5 cents a piece, which is a good value price to piece. Now, true value, though, is subjective. Well, true value is a hardware store, but true value in the set is subjective, and it would be based on your loyalty to the D&D brand and your use of the set in your LEGO adventures. For me, this is a display model, so I'm not going to really be playing D&D with it, but it did take me back to my D&D days of being in my mom's basement playing D&D, and then as I got older, in my trailer with friends, every other night, almost every night actually, playing D&D. And then we all got older, got jobs, and moved, and couldn't get together as much, and made me kind of miss that. So the value, for me, the value of this is going to be an 8. So you add those all up, you got a interest factor of 9, a playability of 10, and a value for your money of 8, which will give you a overall score of 9 for this set. Okay, parting thoughts on this. I found it fun and relaxing to build. Was not hard at all. I don't know, maybe it was just well done and not hard, and not challenging techniques, or maybe it was the instructions that made it clear and made it easy to put together, but it was actually a relaxing build, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I would recommend this set for any D&D fan and any fantasy fan. And I'd even recommend it for fans of the LEGO Castles system. Thanks for joining me for the review of this build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a taco. The link is in the description, along with links to my Facebook and my Instagram, so follow me. Join me next time when I'll be building the Lord of the Rings set, Barad-dûr. If you'd like to see some of my other sets being built, check out this video.
Were you killed in the Battle of the Everhorse?
Yes.
One more question, right?
Yes.
No, that wasn't for you. Did that count as a question?
Yes.
Damn it. Only answer when I talk to you, okay?
Yes.
Why did you say okay at the end of that?
I didn't.
you.